The Chicago Sky are taking on the Phoenix Mercury today, a matchup in which could have huge implications for the Chicago Sky and their hopes to push towards the playoffs. As of right now, the Washington Mystics do hold the eighth and final spot in the playoffs. We're going to talk about all and more, but first, we got to play this intro.
Welcome to Chicago Sky Central, and here's your host, Haize.
What's going on, Sky fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Sky Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. I'm the host here, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chicago Sky Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this, man. So the Sky are taking on the Mercury today. And right now, the Atlanta Dream are up by 1 point against the Washington Mystics. It's a minute and 5 seconds left. That game is important to the Sky for a couple of different reasons, right? When you look at where the Sky sit right now in the standings, we right now sit at the ninth spot, one spot below. The Washington Mystics do hold, well, technically they hold the tiebreaker. We have the same exact record. If the Mystics do win today and the Chicago Sky lose, we'll be a game and a half behind the Washington Mystics, considering that they own the tiebreaker over us. So the best case scenario for the Sky right now is that the Atlanta Dream actually win this. It pulls us all into a tie again. And the Sky also win today. But we'll see what happens with that, with the Sky's chances of end up making the playoffs. It's going to be a tall test for the Sky right now. The Washington Mystics winning that first game against the Atlanta Dream made it a little bit tougher on the Sky, since the Mystics do hold the tiebreaker. If the Mystics do pull out the win today, they're up by 2 now with 1 minute and 24 seconds left. It's going to be very difficult. The Sky would almost have to win out, whereas the Mystics would almost have to lose out for us to be able to jump ahead of them. So we'll see how that goes and keep our eyes on that as well as we're watching this game build up. But listen, the Chicago Skies are taking on the Phoenix Mercury today. The Mercury are 17 and 20 on the season. They've already locked in their playoff spot as well. They're one spot above the 8th spot. They're at number 7. The Indiana Fever have passed them up. They're at the number 6 seed right now. But the Fever are no easy test at all. You got Kalia Copper playing at almost a MVP level. She's averaging 20 minutes per game. You, of course, have Brittany Griner. We already know what Brittany Griner means to that Phoenix Mercury team as well. Now, this is a team you just can't take lightly. You got to be prepared for this team to be locked in and ready to go. And the Sky have to make an impact defensively. They have to do that. You look at the Mercury. They have 4 players averaging over double digits. You got Kalia Copper, Brittany Griner, Diana Taurasi, and also Natasha Cloud, all averaging over double-digit points per game. You also got Sophie Cunningham there at 8 as well. We know how she's been locked in as well. So we have to be prepared, man. If we're not, it's going to be, oh, wait a second. Kalia Copper's out. All right, that's a little bit of a different thing. I just saw it. Kalia Copper's listed as out on the injury report. Have they said that she's playing officially? Let me go check the social medias. Because on the injury report, she's listed as out right now. If Kalia is out, if Kaz out, that changes things a little bit for Chicago Sky. Not to say that it makes it easier. This is still a team that is much better top to bottom than the Chicago Sky. But yeah, it may change the outlook of that just a little bit if she ends up being out in this game. Let's see if I can find if the Mercury have tweeted anything out. Let's see what we got here. The Phoenix Mercury. Let's see what they have tweeted. I don't see anything on their Twitter. She is at the game. She showed up to the game. Kalia Copper is listed as questionable right now. That was tweeted 3 hours ago for that health update. Beck Allen is out. Charisma Osborne is out. Kalia Copper is listed as questionable right now. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens. So, that's per what they tweeted. No Kalia Copper today. Okay, they are officially out now. As I said, they just tweeted something 3 hours ago. So if Kaz out, good. Kaz out. We know that Camila Cardoso is going to play today per Weatherspoon, so that's a good thing. She was out the other day for a back injury. Yeah, that's what she's listed on the official injury report is out. They tweeted something 3 hours ago saying she's questionable. I haven't seen them tweet anything since then. So, hopefully she stays out. And we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's game day. The Chicago Sky got to lock in. Defensively first, the Sky have gotten back to playing a really good brand of defense more times than not. Now, it's not as good as what it was, for example, like when Angel Reese was playing, and not to say that it's all on Angel Reese, I'm just saying they had another defensive weapon. So we haven't been the same defensive team, but we still can be a damn good defensive team. And that's what the Sky need to be trying to focus on, is being that damn good defensive team so we can give ourselves the best chance. Why did we get an injury exception and not use her? We did get an injury exception. That's why we signed Kalea Davis, I believe is her name. Hi, I'm watching from Ghana. Ghana. Do you have any idea if Camilla's playing? They said so. Teresa Weatherspoon said earlier today that Camilla's playing. So I'm just going. If we're going off what Weather Coach Spoons gave us, she's playing. So take that for what you will. Doesn't mean some last minute changes can't happen. They kind of always have that chance of happening. So we'll see. But Spoon says she's playing. So we'll see if that ends up being the case as well. So, but listen, here's the thing. Like I told you guys before, if the Sky do end up missing out on the playoffs, it's not terrible when it comes down to it. Yeah, it sucks. For our season to end, as tough as what it ended. But I mean, as far as improving the team for next year, it gives you a really big chance to do that if the Sky's pick is the best. So, you got to see what that's going to be and turn into. And yeah, it's just what it comes down to. Angelica's in the building. Shout out to Angelica. Glad to have you in the building. Heather in the building. Oh, I already read that one. Wait, she's what's up with Milla? No, she hasn't played. No, she did play. She checked into, I think, both games so far. She's checked into both games. Garbage minutes, but she's checked into games. So yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, keep in mind, us signing an injury provision is just to have another body on the roster. Like, it's not very often that a player who's been out of the WNBA and comes and plays for your team is all of a sudden going to dramatically change or like crack the rotation ahead of players that's been there for a while. So, Davis has played. Like I said, she's played garbage minutes. Yeah, she's played 2 games. She's been here for 2 games. She's played 2 games for us so far. So she has played, but she's just not good. They really need to lock in. I really miss Angel Reese. I mean, listen, we're all gonna miss. We're all gonna miss Angel. This team's gonna miss Angel. Just kind of is what it is when it comes down to. That's the way the cookie crumbles. And as a team, we just got to pick up and find a lane and dig in and finish the season. I mean, that's just what it is. Like, nobody's gonna play the world's smallest violin because your team has injuries at the end of the season. At the end of the day, that's the way that it happens. We've been a team that since dated back to last year, we've had major injuries that have affected the team, and that's just kind of the way that it goes. Hopefully at some point we're on the right side of injury luck, and that's all that we can hope for, is that we start getting on the other side of having some of that luck. But over these last 3 games, we're gonna have to tighten up, man. We got the Mercury, we got the Dream, we got the Connecticut Sun. That just is what it is, man. And what would suck if it comes down to it? I'm not saying that this is going to come down to it, but if it did come down to it, right? Is that what if the Sky need that one last win over the Connecticut Sun to get into the playoffs, and Marina Mabry goes off and we lose that game and we get eliminated from playoff contention? That's just the way that this story has gone. The season has gone. I would not be surprised if that happens at all. This is, it's poetry in a way, right? Jay Capone says, Haize, aka Red Fox. Jay Capone, aka Bumblebee. Most people aren't going to get that joke, but shout out to my homie Jay Capone. Honestly, I think playing with Angel right now is good for next season. Probably meant without Angel, they should come back stronger together. Well, a lot of this team is not going to be here next year, so I don't know how many lessons we learn from it as a team, just because a lot of this roster is probably not going to be back next season. Keep in mind, we have technically 4 players locked into contracts next year: Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, and Rachel Banham, Mariah Jefferson. Those are the only 3 players for the Chicago Sky that technically have contracts next season. We got a lot of restricted free agents, so I expect a lot of turnover for this team next year. A lot of turnover for this team next year. So be on the lookout for that. Dana Evans, Kennedy Carter, they're restricted free agents. So there you go there. Michaela Oniwerde is a restricted free agent. Isabel Harrison, Brianna Turner, unrestricted free agents, of course. Diamond DeShields, an unrestricted free agent. Yeah. Oh, Lindsey Allen as well is under contract. So we got Mariah Jefferson, Rachel Banham, Lindsey Allen, Camila Cardoso, Angel Reese are under contract next year. 5 players. Everybody else is either a restricted free agent or an unrestricted free agent next year. That's why we have over half our caps, about 90% of our cap space is all available to us next year, because there's going to be a lot of turnover for the Sky. A lot of turnover for the Sky next year. So be on the lookout for that. I like Bumblebee Buzz. That's hilarious, man. What's going on, Bulls Daily? Says, I see you drip fresh to death. I appreciate it. By the way, hold on. I gotta get this added. I know I don't have a lot of people who are like huge, just general sports fans. Not as a shot to anybody. I just know that we don't necessarily have that here, just because of what the nature of what it is. But I am in a sports debate league. You guys can come and check me out. 6:45 today, 5:45 p.m. Chicago time. I will be in a debate over on Player's Choice against Dion from Ohio. Make sure you guys stay in tune with that one. I've been cooking up, preparing my debate. I like to handle debates like I plan it out like a great 3-round battle rap. It's the way that I do it. I like to plan it. I tell a story over 3 rounds. So make sure you guys stay in tune with us for that one as well, man. But yeah. Let's see. Damn. Are they going into overtime with Atlanta and the Mercury? They listen, both those teams understand what it's for. I hope they bring back Brenna Maxwell next year. I mean, let's hope so. I think because they never officially signed her to her deal and they draft her, they still hold her draft rights. The WNBA is weird with draft rights because you can cut a player and retain their draft rights. You can cut them and also not have their draft rights depending on when and where you sign them at. So I don't know what happened exactly with Brenna, but hopefully if Brenna wants to come back and she's back. So we'll see. They need to give Kennedy she's going to get a raise. She's on a rookie scale contract. She's still on her rookie contract, so she's going to get a raise regardless. So that's not even a question if she's going to get a raise. Camila Cardoso is going to get a raise. I'm sorry, not Camila. Kennedy Carter is going to get a raise. She's only making $76,000. She's probably going to get a little bit over the. I don't think they're gonna max her out, but I do think she'll probably get about 90 to 95K on her next contract, which actually is pretty high per the WNBA pay scale right now. Now, at the end of next season, the CBA is going to be up, and the pay is going to go up a lot in the WNBA with the new revenue, with the new TV contracts, all that type of stuff. Expect WNBA players to consistently start making 6 figures, which that's good for them. So that is going to go up. I would say that the salary cap is probably going to go up for 1.5 million easily to about 8 to 12 million dollars is probably what is going to rise. So we're going to see a lot of raises, and I wonder if they're going to kick in like a 10% increase on everybody's contract or something like that. It's going to be something like that. But yeah, will they extend Kennedy? Oh, I highly doubt they're not going to extend Kennedy Carter. I don't expect. Keep in mind, what restricted free agency allows you to do is that it allows you to match any contract offer that they get. So even if Kennedy Carter was to go out and let's say, for example, the New York Liberty offered Kennedy Carter $200,000, which I don't think is allowable per what her raise is and the pay increases. But I'm just giving that as a nice round number. The Sky would have the right to match that number. Now, will they? I mean, with the salary cap being so low and them being a younger team, possibly. More than likely, I would give it, but they have the right to match any contract offer she gets. So, what's the max in the W? If I'm not mistaken, the max in the W right now is like 2.5 million, but you have to qualify for that with let's see, the super max is it can't be because so the super max is 241,000. Yeah, imagine that at a vet minimum, the vet minimum in the NBA is like 250,000. The max is 240,000 in the WNBA. That's crazy. That's crazy. Can you talk about the WNBA assist rules? Why is it different from the NBA? I believe it's different from the NBA mainly because you get more dribbles because the women are smaller, and that's probably why I would have to guess. But yeah, the assist rules is like if it's more than one dribble, I think it's not an assist. In the WNBA, let's see. In WNBA, is it 3 dribbles? Let's see. Oh no. Okay, so it's a lot different in the WNBA. So in WNBA, assist is counted as a pass that leads directly to a basket. The player who scores must show an immediate reaction to the basket after receiving the pass. That's crazy because that's completely different from the NBA. It has there's no dribble limit. So if you make a pass and I just start moving to the basket, but it takes me 5 dribbles to get there, that's counted as an assist. That's fucking bananas. That's bananas. That's crazy right now. That's a crazy rule. That's a crazy rule. That's wild. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's wild. That's wild. That's crazy. Like to be able to say that it's an assist, if you, as long as you pass it and I make a move towards the basket initially, so immediately after move towards the basket. But what if that means, what if I sidestep? What if I go behind the back? What if I step back and then go forward? Like that still would count as an assist? That's crazy. That's crazy. That makes no basketball sense. Listen, I understand if you wanted to allow for 2 dribbles versus 1. Let's say the NBA, I think it's 1 dribble. It may be 2 dribbles, but let's just say it's 1. If you want to give the NBA players, because of the length and everything that they play with, 1 dribble, and you say, all right, women are smaller, they it's more spacing, let's give them 2. I can give you that. But you're basically saying that per the rule, you can make an unlimited amount of dribbles as long as you initially start moving towards the basket, and that counts it as an assist. That's crazy. That makes no sense. That absolutely makes no sense at all in the rules and the way that we look at basketball. That's crazy. And so I just looked it up. So it's 2 dribbles or less in the NBA. 2 dribbles or less in the NBA. So you do get 2 dribbles in the NBA. It's 2 dribbles or less. So even if you wanted to give them 3, right? So I'm just saying, basically, if you wanted to give them 1 more, that's still crazy. That's crazy. That's wild. Well, Eddie, that means that they would have had to know that Caitlin Clark would have been coming to the WNBA almost 30 years ago, before she was born, when they made up the rule. I don't think that the rule is to help CC. I don't think that that's what they made it for. But hey, well, that's crazy. Cachet is in Houston. Shout out to you, Cachet, for being in Houston. Now that's a good debate. That would be that's crazy. That's crazy. Now, the thing that I would love to see, right? Because let's say, because the athleticism in the WNBA is getting better, we're seeing bigger players consistently in the WNBA. If they ever change that rule to where it is more like the NBA, where it's 2 dribbles to make it an assist, how then do you do the record, right? Because at that point, that's like one of those rules that the WNBA can almost never change, because if you do, it basically makes the records right now never attainable again, right? The record that Caitlin Clark set this year, if they ever change the rule to make it 2 dribbles like the NBA, it will never be an attainable rule again. It will never be attainable, right? That's just crazy. That's wild. Hey, I gotta. Me and Steve are gonna have to talk about that whenever me and Steve will talk about it again. But yeah, we have to talk. That's crazy. That's crazy. With the free agents, is there a chance a team doesn't pick them up? Does Chicago have to sign them? No. If you're a free agent, you don't have to. You don't team league. Now you have to have a minimum number of players on your roster, but the league can never make you sign anybody. So no. Oh, it says no. I was joking. Oh, okay. I was about to say that'd be crazy. That's crazy. But people say crazy shit. Unfortunately, people say crazy shit. So that's just the way that cookie crumbles sometimes. But it is what it is there, man. But back to this game. Listen, excited about this game. Washington's up right now on the Atlanta Dream. Like I said, hope that Atlanta pulls this one out. The best scenario in this was always that they split these 2 games. If they don't, it's gonna make it a lot harder for the Chicago Sky to be down 1. Well, if they lose today. So if the Mystics win today and the Sky lose, it's a 1.5 game advantage that the Mystics have with 2 games left. The Sky would have to win the next 2 games, and the Mystics would have to lose the next 2 games. And that's a really hard thing to do. Really hard to do. If the Wings get the first pick, do they take Kiki over Paige? I doubt it. I think they take Paige regardless, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean that I'm right there. I could be wrong. I hope Miller can dominate the game today. Garner has been looking her age. Same with Diana Taurasi. Can't let them cook us. Miller needs to stay in the paint and only be setting picks on the perimeter. Well, here's the thing, though. I don't think I never say that a big only needs to stay in the paint. because you want to stretch out your defense. You also make it more difficult for your players to score in the mid range if you just stay in the paint. Because a player like Brittany Griner, regardless if she's looking her age or not, keep in mind, Kennedy Carter likes scoring in the mid range. If Camilla's just in the paint and Brittany Griner is in that paint as well with her reach, she can make shots difficult on Kennedy Carter in the mid range just by being aware. So you don't kind of want her to just stay in the paint exclusively. You still want her to move around some to move around that defense. But all right, but we'll watch this game. We're also monitoring the Atlanta Dream game, man. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this pregame show. C-Dub will be live today, so the live call is back. He will be live on the pregame show. On the live call. C-Dub will be there, so make sure you guys stay in tune with that one. You can follow us at Chicago Sky Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, Chicago Sky Central at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related.